The question is, are jazz aficionados and players narrow-minded when it comes to instrumentation? And my answer is yes. Jazz has moved from a kind of music that is an expression of yourself, from a very spontaneous way to a more cerebral way to a very casual way. That means from classical jazz to bop to free jazz. It has become academic music. That means that jazz has lost the vital impulse that make people try something new that is consistent with the jazz tradition. Now, I know that you get inputs from other kinds of music, but when inputs overcome the main branch of a music, like for a language, the music gets lost, that style gets lost. You can say it's normal, other people think it's not normal, but the reality is that jazz is not a living and breathing music as it was before. That means that what you hear nowadays is rehashed, I suppose. What has been played before by other people because the previous people died, other people who are not pioneers anymore. So being like this, there's not a open-minded approach to experimenting with new instruments. That means that instruments like this, the euphonium or French horn, and I'm speaking about unusual brass instruments, are not well received. And I think somebody said that the French horn has not the attach of a trumpet. Okay? Sure it isn't. It isn't a trumpet. The question is, like a trumpet and hard bop. Hard bop is not, I know for many people hard bop is jazz, but not really. Hard bop is one genre of jazz that nowadays is maybe the most heard and the most played. I think that most people approach jazz through modern mainstream, the kind of music that Lester Young used to play in the 50s, Colin Hawkins and many other people, that has shared something of the swing and something of the bop. So nowadays jazz is like classical music, is repertoire music. Most people, even the best saxophone players, and I listened to Hamas plays, something that goes on Facebook, I see live on Facebook, and these players are wonderful. But I ask myself, do they really impress me for playing something new that I didn't expect? No. I'm sorry to say that, but in every music, for every music, there is a time when you've been listening to this music for some years and you get used to it. Don't that expected unexpected ratio. You first you don't understand the music, then you understand the kind of music, because every music has cliche, criteria, patterns, and then it's too predictable. So you need to push the envelope. The envelope has been pushed up to a certain place that, with free jazz and formal jazz, that, I don't know, can be pushed. Can it be pushed forwards? Can the bar be raised more and it's still jazz, or it's still understandable? That's the dilemma. The riddle. I don't know. So, coming back to the open mind. Oh, I'll give an example. I'm not a guitar player, a jazz guitar player. I play country music on a guitar because I like country music. It sounds weird, and I'm not able to play jazz on a guitar. It takes more time. It's a whole different sorry. But the problem is, most jazz players just play that kind of guitar. You say, what, the archtop guitar with the F holes is the best. I beg to differ. I think there is stereotypical view about instruments and other things in jazz, and jazz was the opposite of that. Now I hear a lot of accomplished instrumentalists, maybe more accomplished than the original players, the players that made history in jazz. But one thing is when you come up with something original, something of yours, and another thing is repeating the same old story. That's my opinion. So, Flugel, this is the tenor take on Flugel. This is a tenor. It's one octave lower than a soprano. It's called baritone, but actually it's not a baritone pitch-wise. It's a tenor. It's called baritone. It's a long story, but anyway, it's like a flugelhorn. Why is a flugelhorn accepted in jazz and not its lower octave version, which is this? I don't say it's not accepted. It's not generally accepted, and I can understand. I've also played the trombone. The trombone it's like trumpet and flugelhorn. People play more the trumpet, but there are people like Art Farmer and other also like Terry. They preferred to play the flugelhorn, and I don't understand why there are not people who prefer to play this rather than the, which I have, the tenor, the valve trombone or the slide trombone.